Hello scrapbooking friends, and thank you for joining me for another video. So today's video is my update video for all the things I got up to in June. So the layouts that I created, the projects that I got done, any spending and plans for July. So I had quite a good month in June. I got 11 layouts done, which includes one double page, which is kind of 12 pages in total, which I think is what I got done last month. So I had a bumper month again. Traveller's notebook for the donkeys is up to date. And I didn't work on the road trip album though, so yeah, I didn't quite get to that. I had an unexpectedly busy-ish month, and yeah, I was kind of concentrated on layouts. I'd got very, very close to recording a layout refiling video by theme, which I've been talking about, but then I got quite a few layouts that I wanted to do, so I did those instead. But yeah, that is, I've got all my notes ready and it's all ready to go, but I just haven't started it yet. But I'm hoping to do that at some point. Yeah, so I helped out at the Isle of Wight Festival with the Donkey Sanctuary. That was unexpected, so that was 2 or 3 days. And I went over to the mainland to see the Buddy Holly musical a couple of times, which I'd sort of forgotten I was doing. So that was a couple of days, and some extended days at the Donkey Sanctuary. And I even had a couple of visits to the dentist, so yeah. busy month. And Chester and Buddy are okay. Chester had his checkup as well, so that was another visit to the mainland at the beginning of the month. He's doing well in his confinement, so he should be able to do more quite soon. He is allowed to go on walks and things now, so that's good. But yeah, he's still restricted with the lead and everything, but yeah, he's pretty much back to normal with going for walks, so yeah, he's doing really well. So yeah, so that's my month. We'll start off with the layouts, and I'll show you the Traveller's Notebook. This is my creative team layout for Scrap a Sketch, and this is Elvis the donkey here, wearing his little visor. I mentioned this, I think I showed you this photo in my last update video, that it was a page, scrapbook page to be done. So yeah, lots of Bramble Fox pieces on here, some lovely glitter domes there, flare piece, some thread and some wood pieces and things. So yeah, I really like this one. And then that little tracing paper secondary title there, lovely bright layout. Then my background basics 16 layout this month that I collaborate with Moira on. We both do this together, where we create our own background and use our tools. And I did this lovely double page layout for the coronation of King Charles III, and I stamped my Union Jack bunting there. Lots of photo heavy. I inked up and some wood pieces here, and added some twine, these lovely crowns that my friend Stephanie sent to me. Very simple title with foam alphas, Bramble Fox pieces and ribbon, which I very rarely use. Don't use ribbon at all nowadays. I do like washi tape, but yeah, I'm not over keen on ribbon, but this ribbon was perfect. So this is a layout of the doggies, 2 4x4 photos, die cut tag there with some twine, Project Life piece, Bramble Fox again, and a little bit of splattering and a little bit of outlining on here. To make that nice colourful layout. And this is another Elvis the donkey layout. So this was I'm pretty certain this was a Scrap a sketch, but not a creative team layout. I just chose to do the sketch. So like very square elements here, with lovely pattern paper, and Elvis the donkey again, and then tag here with some wood piece, altered wood pieces where I've inked them up, some little star gems, stash busting here, very old products there, and then some wood dots there. This is a lot of tearing going on this layout. This is the layout that I started recording, and then I didn't like it at all, and I redid it, and I'm really happy with the result now. So some torn elements here. This is Don Quixote and Samson, the new donkeys at the sanctuary, card candy, wood pieces, another tag here, foam title, and some faux stitching with my journaling pen, which I do occasionally. Another layout of Elvis the donkey, and also CJ, his friend CJ in the back there. So they were keeping cool in the field shelter that day. It was a really hot day, and the field shelters are like fridges, they're so cool. But Elvis was a little bit hot and bothered, so he was taken down to the barn area a little bit later. Foam title, tracing paper again, torn edges with the pattern paper, lovely little Bramble Fox pieces used up here, and wood hearts again. Another tag from my stash, a little bit of stamping. Another lovely layer, and I stapled that. I don't know if I did that on camera or if I did that later, but I added some staples. I do sometimes do finishing off touches once I've finished recording. So this is Hovis and Kitchy donkeys, two of the very young donkeys at the sanctuary. I just got these photos of them. And this is a half and half design, which I like to do from time to time. A scrap piece here for the journaling, lots of stamping, foam title again, wood pieces, and corrugated card heart there. There is a video for every layout, so you can go and look at the videos if you want further information. A centrally designed layout, which I like, with some extending embellishing, and bramble fox pieces, foam alpha, bramble fox here, a little stamped secondary title there, and a little bit of torn edge again, some photo mounted twice. This is Elvis the donkey again. I think I've said it already. I've gone through a period of not doing many layouts of Elvis the donkey, and now I'm doing lots of layouts of him again. I'm getting all these nice photos. So my lovely volunteer colleague took this photo of Elvis on a day that I wasn't there. It was after that previous day when he was keeping cool, and I was a little bit worried about him. And she'd sent me this photo of him playing with a ball. And I think I've said here that I don't think I've ever seen Elvis playing before. I don't think I mentioned it here actually, but yeah. Don't think I've ever seen Elvis play. He's a donkey that's in his 30s. He's got health conditions. He's not a young, sprightly donkey, and I've never really seen him play, so it was amazing to see him play with the enrichment ball. Pan paper, creating my own embellishments here for the title, so punched hexagon, wood hexagon, and then a foam alpha on the top there. A little bit of stamping, hexagon die cut piece there, some wood pieces here that I've altered with ink. Again here, and I added some tiny little gold star puffies into those as well, just for extra sort of you know, interest. And then this is my creative team layout for Scrapper Sketch this month. You can see the design here is pretty well, you can't see the sketch, but this is very much in I stuck to the sketch quite well. I think the background looked as though it was sort of a grid type mixed media or stitching, but I just added a little bit of this mixed media and then used patterned paper. So these two photos are from just a flower in my garden that I really liked. So bramble fox, I've used some more of those wood pieces and made my own florals again with the paper florals and the gems from my stash. A little bit of texture paste used here, washi tapes here, quite a good use of washi tapes here. And then this title here, chipboard title, and I added the baker's twine to the tag as well. And then this is the final layout, another layout of my best boy Elvis the donkey. So I took some I was at the sanctuary this day, and a section of the sanctuary was closed for re-fencing work, so the public couldn't go that way, but Elvis the donkey's herd was in that area, and one of his followers, or a couple that adopt him, wanted to see him, so I was able to take them through to see him. It was at the far end of the field, and as I was chatting to the visitors, he kind of made his way over and I hadn't really noticed, and then all of a sudden he was right there. So I'm like, hey you, and I used A because I didn't have an E, and I thought to myself, hey, you know, donkeys eat hay, and this reminded me of the end of hay bales. So yeah, I got another title out of that lovely alpha set, even though I didn't have an E. Bramble Fox secondary title here, just a little die cut piece with the journaling that I've inked around the edges. Torn edge here again. I'm loving doing my torn edges at the moment. These little black pieces came from the alpha set, wood dots, and then I didn't frame the photo with card or patterned paper, but I felt as though it needed something, so I just did a doodled border on that one, and then I inked up this star here with black ink, and I got a grey one from my stash, and this blue one within the Bramble Fox piece is what made me think to do that. So yeah, that's all the layouts that I've done in June. And then I've kept my Donkey Traveller's Notebook up to date, which is pleases me, because I like to try and do that. So last month we ended here. This was at the end of May, and then the very end of May, the last day, I met my friend, a fellow volunteer at the sanctuary. We met for like coffee. She's normally in on a different day to me, so don't really see each other very much. So we decided to just meet up, you know, and have a little gossip and a chat and what have you. Did a little bit of stencil in here. I punched out this circle from pattern paper, and then I sort of doodled on it and stamped on it. So I'm trying to sort of create my own embellishments and things at the moment. A bit of stamping there, and then just these photos. So I'm just saying that I met her that day, and then we sort of chatted. We went to see the donkeys, and I just happened to be around at the time that Elvis was getting his supper. So the farm staff let me give him his supper, which I pushed under the gate for him. And then we're just saying about Kitchy needing stitches because he'd hurt himself. And we knew that, I knew that the day before, but I found out that day that he'd had to have stitches the following day. So then the following week, my day at the sanctuary, the lady who normally is on the meet and greet station that day was not in. So my colleague and I were sort of doing that in the morning for her, which I enjoyed doing. I don't normally do the meet and greet section. And we were quite busy. I think we did quite well. And then she has this bird that comes to see her that she calls Ricky. And she feeds him. And, you know, I kept Ricky rock fed for her. So, yeah, he didn't go hungry that day. And then I stayed on a bit later that day because we had a special evening at the sanctuary for the volunteers. So I was there all day. That was an extended day. It was a really lovely day. We sat outside and I saw my boy briefly. And this photo you would have just seen in one of my layouts, the Lonesome Muncher. So a little bit stamping, just hearts here. Name of Ricky and Elvis the donkey, and just meet and greet and carrot and horseshoe. And then this is the following week. So this is Button's donkey here with his visor on. He's got an eye condition at the moment, and I actually gave him a really good groom that day and a trim, and it was very, very hot that day. Yeah, really, really hot. And in the morning, one of the farm staff gave me a little ride in the big tractor, like a proper big tractor, up to the gate, because I was on my way up there to open up for the visitors. And I hopped in and had a ride in the tractor, so I was really excited about that. I groomed Kitchy until his lunch arrived, and as I said here, a very hot day. I gave Buttons a very good groom and a belly trim because he needed a belly trim. And this was the day that Elvis was in the field shelter and he was a little bit warm, or he was breathing a little bit fast. So he was taken down into the barn with Buttons to keep cool. And yeah, it's a page with no Elvis photo because I did a layout, that's why. And this was the same day actually. So there is actually an Elvis photo. So this was later on. This was after Elvis had been taken down into to be the cool area, into the barn, because they get monitored more closely there. It's different to the field shelter. And then this is a photo that I took of Elvis and CJ actually. So although I did the layout, which is in the pile, I did take these photos as well. I'd forgotten. Washi tape, stenciling here with the brickwork, or is that the stamp? Is that the stamp or the stencil? I think that's the stencil. And I used the grey ink through that. Little stamp in there. Just Button's name that I've stamped out here, and CJ and Elvis. And then this was just saying about the Isle of Wight festival, because I hadn't known before that I was doing it. I only knew a short period of time before. And then we won the best family attraction in Hampshire and Isle of Wight for Muddy Stilettos, which is a website, I believe. So we won the regional, and now I think we're entered into like the national, so fingers crossed we might win that, because we are a really lovely attraction, family attraction. And then the Isle of Wight Festival, we were doing a world record attempt to get people to wear donkey ears, so I just put that promotional piece on there. And then this is me in they had a board where you could take selfies, and that's just me taking my photo in there. And then me wearing my donkey ears. I absolutely insisted on wearing them the Elvis way. And then this is the local paper, where we got a photo in the local paper after the festival. I didn't say a lot about that because it's kind of, you know, I knew it was just about going to the festival. The hashtags here, and then this stamp of mine that I consider to be Elvis because of the way the ears are. Elvis's ears were always like that. And then this was the 20th of June, so this was the following, just after the festival weekend, my regular day at the sanctuary. And I didn't really want to do any grooming that day because I was doing a talk at the local library, or a library on the island, in the afternoon. So I didn't actually do any grooming. I wanted to stay clean and fresh. So some of the farm was a little bit closed off to the public, but I did take them to see Elvis the donkey, and you will have seen the layout about that as well, because I've just finished his here. It is this photo. I think it's the same photo. No, it's a different photo actually, but I took that photo at the same time. If I'm doing a layout and I'm putting the same thing in my Donkey Travellers notebook, I try and do it as different photos. So I'm getting myself confused because I've actually only just finished this layout, and I was talking to you about it in the video, and then I'm thinking, have I already put that in my Travellers notebook? But I haven't. I don't think I have anyway. It's just here now. Yeah. So some of the farm was closed to the public for refencing works, but somebody asked to see Elvis because he was their adopted donkey, so I was able to take them through to see Elvis, and he was like in the far side of the field, and I was chatting to the visitors, and he actually just slowly made his way over, and I didn't even notice until he was standing right in front of us, and I said, oh my gosh, that's Elvis, he's come over to see us. He's a precious boy. So that was that day. So, and then I did the talk in the afternoon at the library. So yeah, that was another sort of extended day at the sanctuary. And yeah, it was a really nice day. And then I wrote a poem for the festival. So if you follow me, you'll know that I like to write my poems for the donkeys and things. I don't know if you can see that, but if you wanted to see that, you can go over to Helen Rockabilly Girl on Instagram, and that information is always at the beginning of my videos. And I just sort of stamped out festival poems, some colourful washi that I think reflects festival atmosphere, bit of stamping here, and this was the actual wristband that we had to wear at the festival. And then the final page was from this week, so yesterday when I was at the sanctuary, and it's very simple because I must admit I didn't have many ideas as to what to do, so I did a little bit of stamping, a little bit of washi tape, Project Life card here to do the writing, and then just these photos, photo of Elvis here, and Dorothy and Katie, the newest donkeys at the sanctuary, and Dorothy is Katie's mummy. So this is Dorothy and this is Katie. So I just basically said that we're trialling new ways to identify the donkeys. So I was given a handheld scanner to sort of scan the donkeys. And I scanned Elvis quite a few times. Just for fun. And I told my husband that I'd scanned Elvis quite a few times, and he's like, why? And I'm like, well, you know, why not? Because it's funny and it's kind of what you'd expect me to do. So yeah, so we had a scanner to sort of help identify the donkeys for visitors and things. It's really difficult to see it outside though. I could see the one of Elvis's number inside, but outside it was just impossible. It's really hard to do. So Elvis was still inside, a little bit hot and bothered again from the weather. And then I sort of spent a little bit of time grooming him, but actually my volunteer colleague, the lady who was in the book earlier, had actually groomed him the day before, so he didn't really need grooming. He was really smart. So I groomed Buttons, who was with him inside because of his eye condition. And then later on, my Tuesday colleague and myself went down and groomed the new girls. And they were really, really good girls, and they really wanted to be groomed. So they've obviously been handled previously in a kind manner. So yeah, they got a good groom. And then, yeah, that was my morning finished again. I was there quite late again. I had a little extended day because I had to find a couple of donkeys for people. Every time I was about to leave, somebody wanted to see a donkey, so I stayed on to find the donkey for them. But I don't mind doing that. I enjoy it. And I just popped this card here for next time because I thought, oh, well, I might do a matchy, you know. Whatever happens next week, I might sort of use that card to do the writing just because I had the card in the box and it was the same as this one. So, yeah, so that's the Donkey Travellers notebook up to date and all my lovely layouts. Haven't done any spending this month. I haven't bought anything at all. Nothing at all, no adhesives or anything, so that's good. I'm working using my stash, which I really like to do. So everything I've created is obviously all stash that I have already, which is usually the case at the moment because I'm really enjoying using up the products that I have and trying to be a little bit clever with, you know, altering embellishments and things like that, particularly like using my wood, and that's quite easy to alter. I'm going to try and use my stamps and my stencils and what have you. I'm not sure if I'm not going to say that I'm going to do that road trip album. I may do, I may not, just depends what's going on. I think I've got a quiet month in July. I think I said that last month, but I do think I've got a quiet month in July. So yeah, I have got quite a few layout ideas already to do, so I'll be getting on with those, and obviously my background basics with Moira and my Scrapper Sketch creative team layout. But other than that, I think we're finished. So I hope everyone's okay and not too hot and bothered. I think we're going to be getting a bit cooler weather for the rest of this week, which suits me fine. I don't mind cooler weather. And hope everyone has a nice July. And I shall see you at the end of July with what I get up to that month. So once again, thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate the fact that you come over to my little section of YouTube and spend some time with me. I appreciate that you could be watching somebody else, but you choose to watch me, so thank you for that. Stay safe, take care, and I shall see you next time.